1.6. Looking at transformations of parent functions. We learned the parent functions in 1.3. So 1.3, all I want you to do was understand what the parent functions were. So that was our only goal there. Then, now what we're going to do is we're going to transform the parent functions. So what I have here is the basic f, right? So now we know this f of x notation can stand for any function. So that's going to stand for my square root function, my absolute value function, what else did we learn? Reciprocal function, all of that. So that f of x is representing all these functions that we've learned. Right? And more, any function actually. So that's what that is doing there. So let me bring you back to one that we know from grade 10. So say, for instance, we had y equals a x minus a p squared plus q. We know that one, right? We've seen that one before. That's our old friendly quadratic. So this is saying the a in front is the a in front of that quadratic, right? This one here matches the PQ, or did you use HK, whatever variable you guys use, that's this one here. So the A is like this one here, and then the C is this extra number here. The function is whatever the function is outside. So in this case, it was the quadratic, right? But it can be any function now, right? So now I can do square roots. I'm going to show you. So the rest of this chapter, we're going to do the square. We're going to do all the functions we learned in 1.3, and we're going to transform them. So that says, that's why we're taking all those parent functions from 1.3. Now, so we did it with quadratic before. A matches, this P was like our D, the shift, and this last number here. What we did not do in grade 10 or 11 was this K. This one's new. So that one's new, right? So this one is new. Okay, so that one's new. So if you're like, I don't remember having a number, we never had a number in the bracket squared. It was outside of the bracket, not in the bracket. It was always out here, but not in it. So that's our new one. Okay, so that's what we're going to learn. Everything else kind of is the same. So if I had here, if I had a graph for you, what color works? Red is good, right? You guys can see the red, or is it harder to see? Red's okay? Okay. So if I had here y equals x squared plus 2, you can see that's a vertical translation. Right? So anything outside of the function would be a vertical translation. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take other parent functions and say have y equals square root of x plus 2. So that's what we're aiming for, is that we're going to have other parent functions and add a number to it or subtract a number. That is a vertical translation. So a number after the function, plus or minus, is a vertical translation. We're going to use the proper words. I don't want you to say, last year you might have used move up. I want you to move the graph up. But I want you to say the words vertical. So always identify vertical or horizontal. You can see the first word for all of these is vertical or horizontal. So identify which way. And then you're going to tell me translation. You're going to say translation or compression, so you're going to use this special word. So translation, I will accept the word shift. So translation or shift. Does the green show up, or is that too light? Too light? Too light. Too light, right? I'm not seeing that. I'm going to use pink. Okay, so I want you to use the word translation, and then you're going to describe what it does, and you're going to use the word shift. Shift up or down. So I know for the parabola, we would say the vertex is, not all of our graphs have a vertex. Like, what do we do with this split one, the reciprocal one? There's no vertex, right? Because there's no vertex, it's two sides. So we can't use vertex is. That's why we have to use these words. So these are replacing those words. So instead of vertex is, we're going to say vertical translation up to or down to. Okay, so this is up to. Now, the other one we know, in the bracket. When it's in the bracket like this, we took the opposite. So it's always opposite sign. So here, if I had y equals x plus 2 squared, we know how to do that. And we would shift it left 2. Right? So left 2. And what are we going to do with that with other functions? We're going to put it in the square root. So it's going to be in it or in the absolute value. So I'll show you that tomorrow, right? So we'll do more with the other functions, but it's in. So in there is horizontal. and it's opposite. So we know it's opposite. So look, left for positive and right for negative. Again, I want you to use the words translation. Don't just say move it left. We're going to say shift or translation. So these new words, right? The nice words. Right? We want you to use a little bit more mathematical words instead of just move. Right? Not just move. Shift and translation are our new words. A, the number in front, that would look like this. Say 2x squared. And we'll explore the other parent functions tomorrow. Okay, so today I'm just looking at the quadratic because it's familiar. Right? So today, just let's go with familiar, and tomorrow we'll add the square roots. Absolutely, don't worry. Don't worry. So 2 in front, that we called a vertical. Always give me the direction. And we called it a stretch or compression. Old-fashioned books used to say dilatation, but I don't think, it's like your eyes dilating. They don't use that much, so it's stretch or compression. So if it's bigger than 1, it was a stretch. So again, I want you to use these words, stretch or compression, not bigger. Okay, not bigger or longer. So don't use the word longer or bigger. Okay, we're going to use stretch or compress. If it's bigger than 1, it's stretched. Less than 1, it's compressed. Okay, don't say shorter or taller. Yes?
Are we going to write like a statement?
Yes, we're going to practice that tomorrow. So today, we're just going to go through the language chart. So I just want to, for the lesson today, just the language. And tomorrow, we're going to write statements. Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, is this like the new version of like A, H, and K from like last year?
Yes.
Because last year, like, they were doing the same thing.
Yeah, A, H, and K, but I'm going to add something here now in front, which we didn't have last year. And now, instead of just the parabola, I'm going to do every function. So you're going to see tomorrow, we're going to do every type. So I start with the parabola again, but I'm going to go the square root function, the other parent functions, absolute value. Yeah, so we're going to apply what we're learning from the parabola to everything. And then from that point, you can do any function. Any new function, these all apply. So these rules apply. Yeah. Right? So it's kind of good. So now we're going to more general. Okay, so this one's new. So this is new. This is the new one. We never had this scenario last year where I left the 2 inside and squared it. Why would we? Wouldn't I just make it 4x squared, right? But on some functions, like the square root function, what if I can't take it out? What if I want to leave it in there with the function? So when it's inside the bracket, it's horizontal, and it's a stretch or compression. Now, the funny thing with horizontal, the reason why they didn't introduce it last year, because it was a bit too much, it's always opposite, right? So look, that is left 2. Does that make sense? Left 2, opposite, right? So here, we knew opposite. Right? Opposite operation. So it's -2. When is that? Now here, this one, for that, sorry, the 2 there, reciprocal. It's multiplication, so we're doing reciprocal. You can't do opposite of multiplication. It's divide, so it is opposite, right? So instead of times 2, look, see this? It's the reciprocal. So it's not a stretch of 2, it's actually compression by 1/2. We're going to practice that a lot tomorrow. Okay, so this is the new one. This is what we're going to get. So it's the opposite. Just like what we did with the vertex, you're so used to doing that. Oh, is that the opposite one? Yes. This is opposite, but when it's multiplication, we're doing the reciprocal of it. Right? So that's what we're going to practice tomorrow, this opposite reciprocal thing. Okay? So that's a new one. If it was 1/2, you would do the reciprocal, and it would be a stretch of 2. So this is what we're going to practice. The reciprocal is that's what this notation is saying.
So if it's not in a bracket, being above 1, it stretches. But
Yes.
if it's in a bracket, being above 1.
Yep, the question is, if it's not in the bracket, it's regular vertical stretch or compression. If it's in the bracket, it's horizontal, and it's the opposite. So it's going to be reciprocal. So that's where our focus is going to be for tomorrow. We're going to do a bunch of the new ones. Okay, this, we know this one already, right? So here, again, because we're going to generalize it, we cannot say opens up and opens down. Because, remember, the reciprocal, there's 2 ways. There is no open up and down. It's sideways. So open up and open down, which is what we said with the parabola last year, will not apply for every function, right? So we have to now say vertical. Oh, look, wait, and these are the key words. I need you to use reflection, not flip. So not flip. Whoops, sorry. Don't say flip, right? Because again, flip sounds like you're flipping someone off, right? So it's just, don't say, that's a F. So not, I lost my liquid paper. So don't say flip. I'll fix that. But don't say flip, say reflection. Flip is too casual. Does that make sense? So we're not going to not flip. Now, wait, last one. Okay, and oh, wait, and I'm going to use this word tomorrow. We'll practice that. This last one is also new. We never left the negative in the bracket. That is a horizontal, and we'll go over this tomorrow, reflection, and we're reflecting it side to side. Do you know why we didn't reflect the parabola side to side? No? Because it's the same thing. So if I reflect my parabola side to side, it did nothing.
Oh, 'cause it's a problem.
It's a parabola, so we didn't bother, because why are you bothering? So we'll look at that tomorrow. Okay, so those are the words. So we're not flipping anyone off. No flipping. Okay, we're reflecting. We're mature this year. Good? Right, tomorrow, we will do some flipping. Just kidding, we will do some reflecting.